There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding-dongs. But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Well, guys, it's official. The fat, round, gay Jabba the Hutt himself has sold out his career over a seafood tower. If you don't know who I'm talking about Tim Dillon and his recent podcast, which proved to everyone the unthinkable that Tim has finally taken money from the government to push down the Epstein story and run cover for Donald Trump. It all started with his most recent podcast that he posted on Saturday, and as soon as I clicked play to listen to it, I knew something was wrong. Here, I'll play it.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. Good to be with you, as always, and I'm happy that you are here with me. I hope I have your trust, because I see trust being removed from lots of people, and for good reason. Because we are going to now, I'm going to tell you about a dinner I had with a member of the administration. I'm going to tell you everything that I know, and I'm going to say the things that I do not know. And I am also not going to attest to the veracity, Google it, of the information, how true or false the information is.
I mean, he literally starts it talking about trust, hoping and making sure that everyone trusts him, which is just such a strange way to start the podcast. And he has literally never started a podcast like that. It was just very, very unsettling. And also, the way he talks about the information that he got from this so-called dinner, it sounds like he's protecting himself legally from any chance of, getting sued or getting in hot water with the media. He is very carefully tiptoeing his way around this whole situation, and it's just so unlike him and kind of off-putting, and it just made me very, very unsettled. He has never once opened a podcast being like, I hope all of you trust me, and I think there's been a lack of trust in what's going on. It's just so incredibly strange. Almost a minute later, he starts running cover immediately for Pam Bondi and Trump and Kash Patel, explaining the thousands of files or thousands of videos that Pam Bondi claimed to have on his desk, his or her, who gives a fuck, honestly. This woman's a dumbass. And immediately has an explanation for that he just pulled out of this dinner after talking to all these people in Washington. And we'll get into who we think it is that he talked to in Washington.
When Pam Bondi came out and said, I have 10,000 hours of evidence, what has been told to me is that is porn Epstein downloaded from the internet. It is not the tapes of powerful people in compromising positions. And the person who told me that said, listen, I'm not saying those tapes don't exist. I'm saying that the person who has those tapes is either a foreign intelligence service, Ireland, is a guess, or a billionaire or billionaires, or they have been destroyed.
I mean, if you're a long-term viewer of Tim Dillon, you can probably tell immediately how weird this is, how strange and kind of off-putting this whole situation is. I mean, like, the whole thing, from what I've been told, it's just hours. Who in their right mind with access to the internet has 10,000 hours of porn on their computer or on their hard drive or in their house? There's just simply no need for it. There's no need at all. Even if you are some weird kind of child predator, I can't even imagine that even the worst of the worst have that many. And the fact that he's saying there is no videos of incriminating, public figures, committing any of these horrible acts against minors. You mean to tell me for the past however many years Epstein was in operation, he never once held on to incriminating videos of people he wished to blackmail? He never held on to any of them. And the FBI never got a hold of a single one of them. You're telling me it's all in the hands of foreign intelligence, Mossad, or the CIA had just lost it. The FBI or the CIA never got a hold of a single tape. They only found porn. You're telling me they only found porn in this guy's, on his island, his place in New Mexico, his place in Paris, his place in New York. Only porn. This guy he was just an ultimate gooner. He was just a gooner final boss. All he was doing, just gooning all day. That's it. He was, that's what you're trying to tell me. I mean, it's really just, they think, I can't believe even Tim thinks his audience is this dumb. But actually his audience is incredibly smart, and they know how weird this is, as you can see by the comments here.
He fired. I told them that. They know that. The people I spoke to. Person. People. Person. People. They know that. I went to Washington. We had a dinner. It was a small dinner. When did I go?
Wednesday.
I went Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they're just cooking him in the comments. I unsubscribe to him. I won't be listening to him, at least not for the time being, or at least when he owns up to just completely selling out his audience. But the comments and his subscribers know, and it could not be more obvious. And I didn't want to cover it in this video, but maybe I will tomorrow. But he came out with a podcast, emergency podcast today with Alex Jones, and it's just so obvious that he's trying to cover up the last episode with this episode and kind of like draw the tension away from how obvious it is that he's running cover. And speaking of running cover, now he's starting to like talk about how Trump actually doesn't like younger women. He likes older women, and it's just a very, very strange clip. I'll roll it.
But he was never accused of being with somebody who's underage. And I think a lot of people that don't like Trump would tell you that wasn't his thing. A lot of these women he was with, Ivana, Marla Maples, are kind of like Vegas showgirls. They look like 35, even when they're 25, a lot of them. They're just caked in makeup, huge hair.
Honestly, I can't speak to this, but I feel like I would say a lot of his detractors would love to say how much he's into younger women. I mean, being a rich billionaire playboy, I assume you're going to brush shoulders with younger women. As for him being accused of being with younger women, I don't know. I think there is some stuff out there, and I think it is substantiated. But I also think that he has had several R-word cases settle out of court, and the files have been sealed on that. So I don't really think he's exactly the exemplary person. And just the fact that he's friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Can we just harp on that? He is friends with that guy. I mean, if you're friends with that guy, you're probably not his, fucking mailman. I don't think he was best friends with his mailman. I don't think he was taking the guy who delivered milk to the apartment where he was, raping young children. I don't think he's friends with that guy. Or the guy on his paper route, or I don't think that's the case here. It's just this guy was partying with him, and all those it wasn't the Wall Street Journal. Maybe it was the Wall Street Journal, or was it it was the New York Times. With all those different things where like they wrote letters to each other on their birthday, they're like pen pals, saying cheers to another secret, all this weird shit. I mean, just go look into it. It's just so fucking weird. In this next clip, he's just going through how he can see, why they wouldn't want the tapes to end up in the hands of Pam Bondi, and why it just literally makes no fucking sense. And he knows it too, which is why he's like tiptoeing around it and sounding like, a fucking robot version of himself.
From the outside, I can see whoever is running this operation not being dumb enough to let tapes get to the desk of Pam Bondi, who's the Attorney General. Now, again, do I know what is on those tapes? Absolutely not. I really don't want to know. I don't want a trove of pornography delivered.
I mean, you really think the people involved in this were that careful? I mean, they basically killed this guy in broad daylight in front of everyone. They don't give a fuck. They were not careful at all. I don't understand this, like, preconceived notion that these people were, like, meticulous, careful, sly, like, undercover, 007, you know, like, child rapists. Like, they were the spy child rapists. They could get away with anything, and they were so under the cover. No, that's not the case at all. They were incredibly messy. That's why everybody on the outside has basically been able to put this together with minimal effort and without really the access to the files. The files themselves are just so we can understand the entire picture of what he was doing. I mean, we already have his black book. We already have that. Like, that's available on the internet, unredacted, with people's government addresses and phone numbers. I'm not saying to go look at them, but I am saying to go look at them. But I'm also saying maybe use a VPN and encrypt your browser if you want to look at them. I wouldn't do that. Maybe you would. Who knows? But anyway, this whole like notion that there are these secret agent pedophiles is so stupid. Of course they would end up on the desk of Pam Bondi. But I know I can bet my money that the FBI and the CIA had access to them before they were deleted. I don't think they exist anymore, probably. I think they're probably gone. But they definitely had access to them at some point. I also find it funny. I mean, this is just pure conjecture, but it's just so funny that after all these years of talking about Ghislaine or Ghislaine Maxwell, after this dinner, Tim magically starts calling her by the right name because he was with her compatriots and all of her friends and coworkers, and she was like, well, they were like, it's actually Ghislaine. Could you please refer to our friend in the correct way? Her name is Ghislaine, and she would be very offended if she were here. She told me personally. We were in between raping a child, and I said, hey, Ghislaine, could you pass a baby oil? And she said, actually, it's Ghislaine. And then we went back to sodomizing this. All right, I'm going to stop now. Here's the clip.
And we also discussed Ghislaine. Ghislaine. I think it's Ghislaine. Now, I said at this dinner, Ghislaine must speak. She should testify before Congress. A couple of the people at the dinner, again, it was a small dinner, 3 or 4 people, about 4 people, 3, 4, then 3.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it doesn't even, she'll never testify in front of Congress. That'll never happen. I just wanted to get this to your guys' attention. I think it's incredibly sad, but also hilarious that now Tim Dillon, the undercover straight man, is now running cover for the whole Epstein debacle and how much this is just marring their entire administration. I honestly, if they don't find a way to clear this up quick, I don't think they'll be able to get anything done for the rest of their term. But, keep on paying your taxes to pedophiles, guys. It's really important. It's the thing to do. It's the right thing to do. God loves you. God wants you to keep paying taxes to pedophiles. So, that's it for today. I'll probably upload again tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.
I like women, not men. And if I like men, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a line of them. But I ain't ever been in bed with no man. I've been in bed with probably 300 women. And you sons of bitches sit there and you play these games. And I'm sick of it.